Hi guys, and welcome to part 69 of Skyrim Mod Sanctuary. Now this video is going to be a little short for a Skyrim Mod Sanctuary. I am only covering 2 mods. Please do not read too much into this. It does not mean I have lost the desire to cover Skyrim mods. Quite the contrary actually. I have just started a new series devoted to ENB mods in Skyrim. I have not actually covered many of those mods and I wanted to cover quite a few of them in one go, and that is taking time. So whilst I'm doing that, it probably means the Skyrim mod sanctuaries will be a little less regular and perhaps not cover quite as many mods. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's talk about 2 great mods I tried this week. The first mod I'm going to cover is the Armour of Intrigue, which is a great set of light armour. And it is another set of armour that is quite customizable, so you can sort of set it up to your own personal tastes. There is a lot of mods like this coming out right now. If you remember 2 episodes ago I covered the Armour of Aesir, and this was heavy armour, very barbaric warrior type armour, and you could really sort of customize it, build it exactly the way you wanted. This is of a similar vein. It's not quite as customizable, but there are a lot of little options. Now you won't find these items out in the world, you will have to craft them, but that's not really a problem. Now the basic armour is very well done. It is very detailed, it's got high quality textures, it looks really nice. It's very dark, a little intimidating, but it's also very high class armour. It looks quite expensive. It's no commoner's set of armour, this. And whilst this armour is obviously well suited to an assassin character and perhaps a thief, it would be equally appropriate for righteous witch hunter type characters, adventurers and so on. And there are even 2 types of HUD. There's an open face one and a closed face one, so you really can use this on a variety of characters if you want to use light armour. But on top of the basic armour you can actually add a lot of nice little features, a lot of little additions. For example, like a set of badges that actually give you a bonus, they give you a boost to your health regeneration. You have a few different types of satchels, for example the Assassin's Satchel, which gives you a boost to sneaking. Obviously you can only use one of these at one time. There is a little set of keys, a set of lockpicking tools, and even some potions you can place on one of the bandanas. There are some optional shoulder pieces that give you a little bit more protection, but they don't look right without the HUD. I would recommend using the HUD with those. There is a cape that goes with this armour, but it looks a little odd. It looks okay when moving, but when stood still it kind of sticks out. It doesn't hang right. So, I think for me, I would like to see some changes on the cape, make it hang a little better, but in actual fact this armour looks great without the cape. It's one of those sets of armour that I think the long, it's got a long coat feel to this armour. I think in a way looks better without capes anyway. But that is a minor thing. All in all, this is a very impressive mod. Great concept, exceptionally high quality, love it. The next mod is another Hotfile mod and is aimed at people who have done or are doing the Companions questline. It is a mod called Skyforge Weapons, and it basically does change the Skyforge weapons. It makes them a little bit more unique and adds a lot more varieties. Now in the vanilla game, the Skyforge weapons look identical to the normal steel weapons, so the Skyforge Greatsword looks exactly the same as the steel Greatsword, the Skyforge Broadsword the same as the normal steel broadsword, and so on. Now I quite like the Greatsword with its sort of claymore look, but I've never been a big fan of the broadsword. I always feel it looks a little bit too much like a cricket bat to me. And this mod changes the silhouette, the shape of the Skyforge broadsword to something a lot better for me. It is still a broadsword, but it now has a slightly sleeker look, a slight tapered straight blade, different enough to distinguish it from the standard steel blade that you're going to find out in Skyrim everywhere. The Greatsword has been changed in sort of almost the opposite direction. The second crossguard has been removed and the blade has been made fatter, a lot wider, a lot heavier looking. It looks almost like an executioner's sword now. The crossguard is this enormous thing now. It almost looks like a great big religious symbol. We should be warned, there is a little clipping in certain positions. Now, there are new models for the dagger, the war axe, the battle axe, and so on, but the versions that you are looking at right now are actually the Orichalcum versions, the Orcish metal versions, because this mod also adds a variety of different materials that you can make Skyforge weapons out of. The models for each of the metal types are actually the same as the Skyforge steel ones, but they have distinctive colour differences. So for example, the Orichalcum one has that dull military grey look, the Moonstone weapons have the elven gold look, and of course the Dwemer have the typical bronze look. By far my favourite version of this is the ebony version. It has a very dull and deadly look to it. Now, purists are possibly not going to like it because it's not shiny and ornate the way most ebony items are, but I do like this. These weapons now look very, very well suited to stealth characters. On the subject of lore friendly, I'm not totally sure whether Skyforge weapons can be anything other than steel and whether this breaks the lore, but it somehow feels okay in the game. It suits the game. These items are crafted at Skyforge, obviously, and I do believe that you have to have finished the Companion's Quest to be able to do that. And of course you will need the required perk, so Ebony perk for making the Ebony version, and so on. Oh, and of course, the Ebony version is the best of all of them. There is a progression, which is quite nice, because if you do want to stay in the character of the Companions and stick to Skyforge weapons, you still have a progression, a way forward so that your weapon gets slightly better. What else can I say? Great mod, really does suit my current character, who is now the head of the Companions. Very well done, and it is nice to have that feeling that you are carrying a somewhat unique weapon. Okay, well that's it for the mods in this video, but if you still want more, check out the two last preview mods I released. The first one was for a mod that adds spellcrafting to Skyrim. Very interesting indeed. If you want to go back to the whole Oblivion, Morrowind style spell creation, check out that video. And I also showcased the next version of Sky UI, version 4. It has not been released yet, but I am trying out the new favorites menu and it's pretty cool, so check that video out. I will be making an installation video and putting the link right about here. The installation process is pretty simple unless you're using Skyrim, and then there's a little bit more complicated. Check that out if you want to know the details. Of course, I'm going to end with the screenshots that you guys have been posting. As always, they're brilliant. Thanks for posting. If you keep uploading them to my page, I will keep using them. The next ENB video will hopefully be out in a few days, and of course you are more than welcome to join me for that. But whichever video you decide to join me on, I look forward to seeing you guys, and until then, as always, have fun.